Hello, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the studio. Oh my gosh, it's so gorgeous out. I'm gonna have to open the doors and let in all the fresh air, and it's gonna be good. Happy Monday. Welcome to the art studio, you guys. My name is Allison Jensen. I'm the owner of Orange Easel School of Art, and this is our Monday morning tradition. Grab a cup of coffee. Let's chat about all the things that are going on in your kiddos' art classes. All right. I even typed up notes today, you guys. I'm on the ball. I'm on it. All right. So we're going to dive right in. Ready? I want to talk through these multimedia classes. It is the last week of March. Now, a couple notes on that. If you're in Monday classes, remember our month started on a Tuesday. So technically Monday classes, you're still doing week 3 this week. And then your 4th class will happen next Monday. And we're going to talk more about next week. So stay tuned for housekeeping. If you're in Tuesday through Friday, especially, okay? Monday classes, just go back and watch last week's video. But Tuesday classes and beyond, we're going to talk about what's going on in week 4 of March. So I've got some really great stuff to show you. If your kiddos missed class last week because of spring break, don't stress out about it, okay? We're going to get them caught up in class this week. If they don't get it caught up in class this week, they can come to a makeup. They can come to a makeup this week. They can come to a makeup next week. They can come to a makeup in May. It doesn't matter, okay? We'll get their project done. No stress. Cool? And I want to show you these K1ers. We have a lot of Ziploc bags floating around the studio because there's a lot of pieces to mixed media art, right? Lots of pieces. But check it out. Remember, they've made all these really great textured and painted papers? Well, we started putting them together to make these beautiful collaged butterflies, which will pop out of their artwork for the month. So that's one. They also had to, we didn't talk much about it, but they had to create their own butterfly shape. So they got to learn a little bit about symmetry and balance, a lot about positive and negative space this month. Let me take this one out really carefully. Look at that. I don't think that the video quite does this justice, but can you see all that amazing texture and color and pattern that's going on in there? Like I said, so these will pop off of their page in kind of a wall sculpture, for lack of a better word. So anyway, so that's the progress that these guys have going. They will finish this this week, Tuesday through, I say Friday, but we don't have K1 classes on Friday. So Tuesday through Thursday classes, they'll finish this week. Monday will finish next week. All right. 2nd and 3rd have been making these clay flowers, right? And I told you that they made the backgrounds and they made the vases, and now they're putting it together. So we started to collage it onto their the backer boards, which then we'll get a mat board on top. But you can see they had to, again, do symmetry, right? So they had to cut out their base. They started putting their clay flowers onto their board. They did all of their background pieces. And then they'll get stems and leaves and stuff this week. So I just pulled a couple really quick out of the top of the closet for my 2nd and 3rd graders. Check it out. It's very Matisse, isn't it? Those of you who are familiar with Henri Matisse, that's what these are inspired by. Those are so fun. All right, so those will be wrapping up this week, and they will go home. Again, if you missed class last week, and we didn't have makeups last week, so don't feel bad if you didn't come to makeups because we weren't here. If you missed it last week, it's okay. Mixed media happens in so many different steps and in pieces that we can either get them caught up this week or they can just move on to the next step and then get caught up next week. It's okay. All right. I want to show you the 4th and 5th and middle school, high schools stuff. I don't know if I'll take this out. Well, I guess I will because there's quite a glare. This is a mushroom world from one of our 4th graders or 5th graders classes. Remember, they did like a worm's eye view, very drawing intensive. They had to cut out their world. Check out all of the wonderful stippling. That's what those dots are called. And cross hatching. That's what the lines are called. When we start to get into grayscale and shading. And I don't know if this is this person's background. It's probably not. I just grabbed a background so you can see they've used their markers and their water to create their background, and they will collage on top, and then they will add their pieces that pop out of the page and work on kind of, again, like this wall sculpture kind of thing. So, and then these also get finished with mat boards. So they're going to start putting things together. Hopefully most of the drawing is done or really, really close to being done. And they'll start assembling and putting things together this week. So hopefully most of our multimedia classes go home with artwork this week. If they don't, nobody's going to stress out about it, okay? It's going to be okay. I promise. Okay. All right. So that's our multimedia classes who are doing mixed media this month. Lots of different things thrown onto a board to make amazing, fantastic art. Our drawing classes have been wrapping up their month of figure, right? Remember, we did portraiture in February. We're doing figure in March. And they've done a lot of line contour and contour drawings that are figure. They've worked from model. They've worked from photographs. They've done gesture drawings. That was last week. This week, we're moving on to dolls and mannequins. And so just something a little bit different, maybe something a little bit more chill and relaxed because we're not having to model. So that'll be different for them. We do have a lot of drawing mannequins. Miss Grace also went to the thrift store and bought some kind of creepy dolls. So they will draw those. My Drawing 102 class is going to be doing for the anime side of things. They have also done bodies and positions and clothing and figure. It started with figure and then they did body positions and they did clothing. This week, they're going to be looking at creating a comic strip that has a figure in movement and kind of making sure that, you know, they can show movement and the steps or the frames that show movement for that one figure. So that's what they'll be doing this week. My fundamentals classes, so that's my preschool classes, they are reading A Rock from the Sky. We're wrapping up our surrealism out of this world unit. So this is the last book for that. They're going to do some shaving cream marbling and also more mixed media. So they'll do collage work in their class. And then we'll switch things out. April goes into, for the fundamentals, it goes into like a nature themed, very Monet and nature themed month. Okay, we get to read Ferdinand and a lot of good stuff. All right. Who else do we need to talk about? Sewing. So I didn't bring any sewing examples. So sorry. Sewing is wrapping up their Lucky Shamrock totes. So you'll have to check the Instagram stories. That class meets tomorrow. And so, yeah. I feel it was really quick. I mean, we're 7 minutes in and I've been through all the classes. I guess I really didn't have to talk much because I had so many great examples. But all the classes are doing great, you guys. We were really light on classes last week because of spring break, but that's just to be expected. So that happens every March and we plan for it. That's one reason why Mixed Media Month is in March, is because it's really easy for us to catch kids up if they miss a step in the project, as opposed to something like November ink lessons or clay. That'd be the worst. October's clay would be awful. If you miss a day in that, it's like, oh no. But not this one. This one's cool. It's the end of the year. We are moving into April. So here's what we're kind of into the housekeeping section, but I want to make sure don't turn this off. This is really important. Okay. If you are in classes, you need to know this. Okay. Monday next week is the last day of March classes. Everybody has had 4 classes by then, or if you're in fundamentals, everybody has had 3 classes by then. Okay. Monday is the last day of March classes, but it's not the last day of March. So there's still Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday that are still March dates, right? I don't know what dates they are. Let me look it up. The 29th, the 30th, and the 31st. We don't have class. So every time there's like a 5th Tuesday or a 5th Wednesday or a 5th Thursday, we don't have class. So our studios will be closed. The doors will be locked. I mean, probably not, because I think I have private lessons happening. But either way, like, don't come to class because your instructors won't be here for it. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, there are no evening classes next week because your kids will all wrap up their projects this week. We will still have makeups, though. So if you miss spring break, you can come in and reserve a time for that Wednesday, and we'll get you caught up on Wednesday night, okay? The team will be here. Akira and Grace are usually here and I are here on Wednesdays, and then Flatwoods' team will be out there for that as well, okay? But there are no regular classes Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Fundamentals crew, because the only class we do on Fridays in person is the Friday Fundamentals here in the Liberty Studio. You guys aren't meeting next week either. You're meeting this week, but not next week. So we'll remind you. We will send emails. But we decided not to start our month on a Friday. So we're just going to go ahead and all April classes start April 4th, okay? And I will remind everybody next week in next week's video, we will send emails after this week's class. Because if I send it now, everybody's like, what? We don't have class this week? No, that's not what the email says. It says next week. So after your class this week, we will send an email that says, reminder, no class next week. Okay. So no classes next week, Monday, Tuesday. I'm sorry, no classes next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Monday classes still meet because you need to have your 4th session because you haven't had that. You've been behind all month long. All right. April classes start Monday, April 4th. We are doing for the multimedia. I totally meant to grab the curriculum. Fortunately, it's on the computer because I've already forgotten it. But we are doing fiber arts for the multimedia classes. So if you're wondering, we roll into fibers in April and we roll into metals in March. And that's the end of our school year, right? So we've done everything from chalk pastels, oil pastels, clay, ink, watercolors, acrylics, printmaking, mixed media, and then fibers and metals. That's our year. And fibers can be anything. It can be sewing. It can be weaving. It can be soft sculpture. It can be silk screening. It can be natural dyeing. There's a lot that you can do in like the fiber world. And we've done a lot of it. We've done shibori. We've done screen printing. We've done tie-dyeing. We've done batiking. We've done a lot. If I think back to 8 years of fiber arts curriculum, we've done a lot. So this year, our K1s in April are going to be doing a woven tapestry. Actually, K1s and second thirds are doing a woven tapestry. So it's a 2-dimensional wall hanging piece where they'll do a lot of weaving. And then our 4th and 5ths are doing sewing. So they're making soft sculpture sewing. They're doing like monsters. And then our middle school, high schoolers, this is new to us. Fingers crossed it works. They're going to do a felted and embroidered jellyfish. And so it is also 2-dimensionals. It's done on a mesh embroidery hoop using wool roving. And so I'm excited, but the first time you teach a lesson is always a little bit like, oh, what do we not know? So so that should be a fun one for us. That's one reason why we started it with the older kids instead of, we'll see. But I'm excited to see what they'll do with wool roving. It's not something that we've used before in the studio. So that is, we're ready for April classes. All the supplies have been ordered. If for some reason you're not coming back for April, so if you're month-to-month tuition and you already know that because of baseball or soccer schedule, or it's just, crazy time for you guys, or you're making a move or anything, if you're not coming back for April, if you could let us know, we would really appreciate it. Most of our classes are full and most of our classes have a waiting list. And so I would love to be able to pull somebody off of the waiting list and let them have a spot in that class starting in April. It's really hard for me to get somebody off the waiting list if it's already April 4th and the class is, happening that night. Or even worse, we have our first class on April 4th. We email you and say, we missed you in class. And then you respond and you're like, we're not doing class. This month. And then trying to pull someone off the waiting list when they've already missed a class is really hard. So if you could let us know ahead of time, we would really appreciate that. Okay. So that's coming up in April. We've got also happening April 1st. I'm looking down at my notes because I don't want to forget anything. Happening April 1st, we start our applications for junior staff for the summer. So if you've got a teenager who wants some volunteer hours, we would love to have them on our junior staff and they can go through the application and interview process. The information is on the website. And then our classes will be coming home. Classes of that age group will be coming home with handouts. Not this week because we're going to send home art show handouts this week, but next week we'll send home the other ones. Okay. Egg decorating workshop is coming up on April 9th. Liberty is full. Platwoods has room. So if you want to come decorate Easter eggs, you can do that with us. The art show is coming up on April 20th. Like I said, they'll come home with handouts this week. So that way you can see that information. Everybody's invited and everybody can participate. It is open house style, so it's come and go, although there is an awards presentation at like 6:30. April birthdays. If you are wanting to have a birthday party in the studio, Liberty's birthdays are full. So there are no more spots in Liberty for April birthdays, but Platwoods has a few openings, not very many, like 3 or 4 maybe. And then May is pretty much wide open. So, yeah, I don't know when that'll fill. Pretty soon, probably. It seems they come in waves. So, like, tomorrow I'll wake up and have 10 party requests. And then the last thing I have is just that summer registration is open. We're about 50% full across the board for summer classes. And so that's about right on track, which what I would expect. We'll see like steady rates of registrations come through the rest of this month. And then it'll really pick up in April when everybody starts looking forward to summer. So we haven't really advertised it, but there are payment plans available this year. That was feedback that you guys gave to us that you wanted to see. And so fortunately, our third-party registration software has that ability. So we went ahead and activated that. And you have the ability to pay a little bit now and then pay the rest in increments. I know for some people, like if you just have one camp, that's not a big deal. But if you have one camp times 3 kids, or you have 3 camps times 2 kids, I mean, it really starts to add up. So hopefully you find that beneficial, and just want to make sure everybody knows that. If you were waiting because you're like, that'd be great, I want to register, but not now because it's a lot of money up front, there are payment plans available on the website. Okay. That is all of my notes, you guys. I feel like that went really fast. So hopefully I didn't talk too fast. I swear I'm on my first cup still. But again, last week of March classes this week, except for Mondays, you guys will roll over into next week. And then we get a couple days off, and then April starts on April 4th. So lots of great stuff. Before we know it, it's going to be the end of the school year, and we're going to be into summer. I know I said it in last week's video, but I'll say it again. There are no regular classes past Memorial Day. So all of these classes, drawing fundamentals, multimedia, sewing, toddler art and play, all of them, they all take a break for June, July, and August, and we come back again in September. So sign up for summer classes. Sign up for summer camps. That's all I got for you. Have a wonderful rest of your Monday. If you guys need anything from me, you know where to find me here in the studio. Hopefully I see a lot of you this week in the studio, and yeah, bye guys.